Welcome back, fellow Claret and Cobalt listeners. We learned in 45 minutes, that's all it took to remind us that in this league, in the MLS, you can dominate a match and still walk away empty-handed. One half where RSL looked lost, another where they looked, well, as good as they're going to look this season. And then a whistle that flipped the whole night, a missed red card, a soft penalty, and a team trying to claw its way out of its own mistakes. While fighting this officiating, the moment, and maybe even themselves. We've seen sluggish starts. We've seen high press come alive. We've seen this team take control of the match and still struggle to land the punch that matters. Buckle in, folks, because we're breaking it down. The tale of two halves, the officiating chaos, the mentality shift, and the quick turnaround to Portland. Right here, right now, on Into the Riot.
Let's riot!
Welcome back, listeners. This is Into the Riot. I'm Mike, and as always, my brother Kevin is here with me. RSL dropped points in Cali after a chaotic final 10 minutes. Final whistle felt like a gut punch. The emotional snapshot of this game, frustration, disbelief maybe? Okay, Kevin, calm yourself. This was a match with two halves, two different halves, an officiating meltdown, you might say, and maybe a mentality check by RSL. What is your feelings on this one, Kev?
This one was tough. I don't know. There's a lot to talk about with this one, but we could have done better. We definitely could have done better, but it was a slow start. But yeah, it was definitely a tale of two halves.
So this slow start that we've both mentioned, I'm going to ask the question, and then we'll move on breaking down the first half and the second half and some other things within this match. Yes or no? Was the officiating the primary reason we lost, or is this just maybe a convenient excuse?
I would say no, that it's not the primary reason, but I do think it has a little to do with it.
Okay, I agree with that, but we might have some differing opinions through this show. So I'm kind of excited to see what you have to say and to share what I have to say. So the first half, we talk about the sluggish start, the sloppy opening 25 minutes, loose touches, slow reaction, poor spacing, maybe careless defending. Why were we so careless with the ball, you think?
I think it could do with a few things. I mean, most of those players, like we've been talking about for the last 9 days, 10 days, they haven't missed a game they played 3 games in 9 days. And I just think there is some tiredness in there, probably like we were saying in the intro, just maybe their mental state wasn't 100% there with this game. They looked like they were missing a few beats to this game.
Yeah, I think it's a good point to bring up the tired legs. I mean, they played 3 matches in 9 games, which I think most of the league probably did the same thing.
Yeah.
And I really didn't keep track of any other team that did that, played that many games in the 9-day period, and to see how they did. But I was really quite surprised through this stretch of matches that we didn't make more changes than we did.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, in a way I was. I mean, I don't know. Like we kind of talked about with that Miami game, I didn't feel like it was as important as the other two. But yes, I do think that if I was a player, I'd want to be on that field, playing against Messi. That's pretty epic for your career.
Yeah, that's the table. It wasn't important for the table, but it was pretty important and, like you said, epic for the players.
Yep.
So in the first half, we had the third straight world-class goal scored against us by Reus.
Yep.
That free kick, as much as I hated to see it, man, it was pretty.
Yeah, it was.
It had so much dip on that ball. I just, you have to understand the term world class, because he has been a world class player for Germany, right? He's a German.
Yeah, yep.
Did so much for the German national team, and that's what he did. He took their free kicks.
Yeah, and I think I know I was sitting there watching it with my boys, and they were like, he didn't even the goalie didn't even dive for it. And I don't think a lot of people understand, especially for I mean, this is right outside the 18. It's not much room to get a ball up and over for
Mhm.
one, and having all those people in front of you as a keeper shielding the ball from your sight, and then him able to get up and over. I mean, that's like you said, it's world class. And yeah, I just don't think, for one, I don't think Cabral thought he was going that way. I think he was going the other way, because Cabral he did take a step to his left, and then it went the other way. And just
Yeah.
like you said, world class.
And the thing of it is, people don't understand until they have actually played the game or watched it for a really long time.
Yeah.
That wall is there for a purpose. They
Yep.
set that wall up for a purpose. That wall is protecting that side of the goal.
Yep.
And that's why the goalkeeper sets it up, because he does not protect that. The wall is protecting that. But when you hit a shot that is that world as world class as Reus hit that free kick, there's nothing you can do about that.
No.
Nothing you can do about it. But they came back. They played a decent rest of the. I thought they fought back fairly well. This is another example of this team doesn't quit. Gozo with the equalizer, but they ruled it an own goal. I want to talk about that, Kevin. Why is that an own goal? Because I've been watching a lot of hockey, and I think it was the Pittsburgh Penguins against the Philadelphia Flyers, and I can't remember which team it was, but they smashed this freaking puck off the back wall behind the net.
Uh-huh.
It bounced back and hit the back side of the goaltender and went into the goal. And they still awarded that player who shot the puck the goal.
Yeah.
And Gozo didn't get the freaking.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I guess I get it from I guess the way the soccer world rules it, but yeah, I thought that it should have been his goal. I mean, it was his shot that went off the post, hit the goalie in the back of the arm, and went in. I mean, it's not like the goalie kicked it or anything like that into the net, like some of these, when the defender accidentally hits it in and they count that as an own goal.
Well,
This goalie didn't even see the ball coming back at him.
yeah, right. And the thing of it is too is they still award. I can't remember who was the assist on that. Was it? Nope. Who was it?
I can't even remember.
I can't remember who it was either. But they gave the player that was going to assist Gozo the assist,
Yeah.
which is really weird. I'm gonna have to dig into that a little bit. But Kevin, was this just a bad start, or man, I don't like to say this, but is it becoming a pattern?
I think it's I wouldn't even say start, because I mean, we went 5 in a row, and I think it's a bad spell. And I think you have this real high intense emotional Miami game. You go into LA again, things didn't go our way. We'll get into that, but I don't know. I mean, I have some questions about some of the players too. I don't think we're having it's, I don't think this is any tell about how this team's going to be, but I do think we are having a little bit of a bad spell right now. And
Yeah, that's another good point you bring up too. They had a big time emotional match with Miami just before this, and this is coming into another hard place to play in LA,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and they've become rivals in the West. I
Yeah.
don't think these two teams really care for each other too much. However, it was a much less physical game than it was
Yeah.
with
Against
Miami.
Miami. Yep.
But I mean, if it's not a pattern and not necessarily a bad start, do you think teams are starting to figure out what RSL's doing and they're starting to disrupt our build up earlier on the field? Or I mean,
See, I think again, this kind of goes in with kind of how we started the game. We talked about Olin Tunji and him needing to have a start to maybe jump kick his form, but I don't know. I'm struggling with the guy right now, and I hate to say it because he did some great things for us last season, but he's struggling. And I get, having an injury and that could be in the back of his head too. I don't know, but he just doesn't seem like the same player that we had last year.
did he start playing better after he lost the goggles or before? Because the goggles came off his head
Yeah.
and he just threw him off to the side. So, or did anything change at all?
I honestly, I don't feel like that anything changed.
Yeah, I know.
We struggled so much through him, and it was just, I don't know. It was so hard to watch.
Yeah, very stagnant compared to Solon's. And
Yep.
I hate to say that. I hate to be that guy that's saying, "Oh, player's not doing this or that," because I'm not out there doing anything
Right.
close to that. But I mean, there's a very visual difference between the two players right now.
Yep.
What changed at halftime?
Well, I would say what changed at the 60-minute mark, but
Okay.
just I think when we got Salons in there and
Mhm.
Gila Vogie, the players that have been playing with the 11, I feel that changed the whole game. We had more control, we felt more comfortable, we looked more comfortable. Just everything seemed to start clicking better when those guys came in.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so RSL kind of took control of that second half. I mean,
Mhm.
they the tempo was better, especially at the 60-minute mark.
Yep.
The tempo, the pressure, the possession, it was all better. And the high press, Real Salt Lake started to pin LA into their own half,
Yeah.
like they've normally done. So we had good opportunities to score. I mean, the one I feel Olin Tunji should have just put away,
Yep.
cross from Gozo. I mean, that's just an opportunity we cannot let go. So
Yeah.
is this result possibly from unlucky? I mean, are we just being unlucky on the finishing part of it, or I mean, do we lack a true goal scorer still?
It's hard because I kind of want to say that we're still lacking a true goal scorer because even with Gila Vogie, he had that one shot and it was stinking right at the keeper again. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get like almost all his shots this season have been right to the stinking goalie.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been taught since early on in this, in soccer that you aim for the corners. And I get that it's not always easy and there's pressure and this and that. But oh my gosh, we just need to start finishing these things.
Yeah, I think so too. It's tough. Let's go through some of these stats, Kevin. I mean, this is we. I talk a lot about soccer being a really screwy sport,
Yep.
and the reason why I say that is because you can outplay, outstat teams all over the place and lose this this game of soccer.
Yeah.
Uh, RSL had 61% of possession. Uh, they had more shots on target just by one. They had 7 more touches in the box on their attacking third. They It says here they only missed on one big chance, but I disagree with that stat.
Yeah.
Accurate passes were 85% to 77. I find that hard to believe too, because every time they turned around in the first half, they were turning the ball over. They either made
Oh
a
yeah.
soft pass or just a pass right to a Galaxy player. I didn't understand what was going on there.
Yeah. Yeah. We really did look lost that first half.
I mean, we almost not quite, but I mean, we all it was close to about double total passes
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and accurate passes, and it was I don't know, it was tough to watch that first half, but the second half they looked much better. Now let's get to the real painful part, Kev. The elephant in the room. We all saw it on Sunday. The officiating. At minute 17 of the match, another American football tackle. They missed a red card situation, I feel. What about you?
Yeah, definitely. And it's getting ridiculous because not only this game, but the game before, and it's getting ridiculous. And biased because I'm a fan of Real Salt Lake, and I don't really watch a whole lot of the other games. I watch a few of them, but I don't see this uneven match calling as much as I do with Real anywhere else in the league. And I just
You know who
but
does?
who?
DeAndre Yedlin.
Yeah,
Did you
well,
did
yeah,
you
well,
did,
yeah.
did you watch the post game?
I didn't get to see it.
Okay, so he says, I'm probably gonna get fined for this, but I'm okay for paying the fine. But he says he had friends around the league that they feel that the refereeing is the same in other matches against, certain teams.
Right.
Those weren't, they weren't calling out names or anything like that, but they were talking about it. And he says it needs to stop.
It
All the players want is consistency.
Well, that and I think as a fan standpoint, it's if they don't start cleaning this up, you're going to have people stop watching these games. Like it's getting to the point where it's almost comical to see some of the crap that they get away with.
Well, I don't understand. I mean, the foul on Olatunji in the first half, that was just outside the box, so that wouldn't have been called a PK,
No, but it
but
was
but it was still taking a goal scoring opportunity away
yeah,
from Real Salt Lake.
which would
But
have changed the whole game.
it would have changed the whole game. And and the thing that really irritates me is the same thing happens down at the other end, which the late penalty kick that they awarded LA Galaxy, it was a soft foul. It was so ridiculous that it was called, and it changed the game. It changed the
Yeah.
entire outcome of that game.
And I don't even know if that guy was even really too much in the play. That ball was pretty well over his head, regardless if he was going down or not.
Yeah, and the thing I remember about it too is, well, one, I mean, he kind of put himself in a bad situation because he kind of lost his mark. But then the thing that was the biggest mistake is he had a handful of jersey, and
Yeah.
if any ref sees that and a player goes down, they're gonna call it.
See, and I don't want Real to start stooping to that bull crap, but here we have his Arcani almost gets his
Yeah.
shirt taken off. I mean,
Hmm.
and we ended up scoring on that anyway, but like really? Like there's not even a card. You the kid have came back to that and carded the guy.
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah,
how
and they're missing that. They're missing that part of the call.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was a little ridiculous. And the thing of it is too, I I've had time to think about this, and I've kind of analyzed it as a coach would, because I've spent the last 15, 20 years of, doing that with on the youth level and on pretty a decent high level of play. And this is what's going to cause the controversy in this podcast. How could have Real Salt Lake handled this chaos differently?
The thing that is hard with it is that you don't get the open play. There's no flow to the game when everything's getting called against you or not for you, or you can't play the game when they don't have control of the game.
But if we finish our chances in the first half, are we even talking about the ref?
I think on a couple of the things, yes, I think we would still be talking about the ref. But yes, I do see what you're saying. If we do put a couple of those chances in that and that's the crazy thing is I kind of watch the highlights again, and I think as a fan, especially when your blood's boiling over, you forget about the chances that we had.
Yeah.
And we did have quite a few that we just were either just a little wide, or we're shooting, like I said, right to the goalie. Or so yes, could we have still came away out of there with a win? Yes, I do believe we could have.
Yeah, and even a draw would have been huge.
Yeah.
I really thought we were at least going to come out with 4 points in the 3 game. Do you feel like 3 points is good enough, or do you think it's kind of a disappointing result in the last 3 matches?
Well, I think, like you said, I think we should have at least had at least 4. I think we should have had 6. So I hate to say disappointing because I think the guys are okay, but in a way, yeah, it's a little disappointing because LA, man, the thing I think that hurts the most is that's their 3rd win.
Yeah.
And we're just we're we're a better team than that.
Yeah, and we'll get them again.
Yeah.
I think they'll fix it because you talk about the boys are okay. Let's talk about the boys and if they're okay. We listened to some words from Pablo Minestrone, and he talked about in his post game interview about controlling the controllables, controlling what you can, because you can't really control what the referee's going to do, but
No.
what RSL, what Real Salt Lake can actually fix, and what could have they fixed in this match? Well, they could have fixed their start. They could have fixed the whole first half, being more
Yeah.
focused. But it's hard to come down on them because they did play 3 matches in 9 days.
Yeah.
So that has something to go into. But I think with Justin Glad commented also of having the memory of a goldfish. Well, I think that has 2 different parts to that philosophy. I think it can be helpful to have a memory like a goldfish because we don't worry about that anymore. Or I think it'd be harmful because if we're just being like a goldfish all the time, we're not learning anything.
Right.
And the important thing about the last 2 matches that Real Salt Lake has played, we need to learn about ourselves. And I just think we might have gotten a little bit scared of what we're trying to do
Yeah.
because go back into the Miami game, first 5 minutes, 6 minutes in the match, they had the goal called back. But up until that point, well, up until after just a little bit after that, where they got the big scare on the counterattack, they were high pressing, they were playing confident, they were, coming out and just throwing punches with Miami. And then
Yeah.
until that counterattack happened, it's like, oh crap, now we're back on their heels because we don't want to make that mistake because that happened so
Right.
quickly. Was that one of the
Yeah.
do you think that's a reason why they got off to a slow start?
Maybe possibly, but I don't know. They just did not, and maybe that's the reason why they came out with no. They just look scared, like, and maybe that's the reason. It is just right there. But man, they've had what 6 7 games before that, and it's worked, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I do get being spooked and scared about, by one thing, and it could change, but yeah, this team has it. They just need to trust in each other like they were and get going again.
Yeah. I I worry a little bit about this next match because Portland's another big physical team.
Yep.
They're transition heavy, meaning, they'll punish the bad passes. I mean,
Yeah.
as soon as they win that ball and it's a bad pass, and they'll catch you on your back foot, and they'll just take it, and they'll make you pay for those mistakes.
Yep.
Should fans, and I want you to think of yourself as being a fan, should fans want the team to be angry and fight back in this kind of a situation if this arises again, which it will, or
Yeah.
should they be calm and composed?
I really do believe that they need to stay calm and composed. You start becoming angry, and that's when your mental state, you lose it, and that's where the more bad play comes into. I think that's how I feel. But yeah, I think you stay calm and composed, and just play our game. When we're gonna win more games than we lose if we just just play our game.
So if Real Salt Lake repeats the same first half mistakes, is this going to be another uh, bad result?
Well, I think that we're gonna have a whole week to rest
Yeah.
and get ready for it. And I do think that I think we'll be ready. I think Pablo's gonna have these guys ready. I think they're gonna be ripping to get back out there and show the fans at America First Field that they can do this, and they they want to do it.
Yeah, I think the week's going to be a good thing for them.
Yep.
I think they're going to go back to the drawing board, start working on the fundamental play that has worked in their good results. Um, Portland is not that explosive attacking team like we've been playing, so I think that's going to be kind of a relief. But I don't think they cannot relax. Real Salt Lake
No.
cannot relax. They have to go in and they have to take it Portland right off the bat. Even if they give up an early goal, they still have to play their game. If they play their game, they can blow teams out of the water.
Well, and that's the thing. I think if they play their game and they get their 20 plus shots a game
Hmm.
and they're on target with a lot of those, yeah, it doesn't matter if we get scored on once. We're gonna put them in the net.
Yeah, they'll put these other teams on the back foot, and that's where we want them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where we want them. So, Kevin, one word to describe RSL's trajectory of the season right now. One word.
Uncertain.
Uncertain. Okay. That's a fair word right now.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I just it's hard to really say. We're still, little early in the season, and yes, we had a little bad spell where we lost these 2 games in a row, but I think if the guys can turn around and, like we said, play their game, I think that the season will be just fine.
Do you want to know what my word is?
Oh, what's your word?
Education.
Okay.
We got a lot of young kids on this club,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I think they're learning a lot, and they've been force fed a ton in this last week.
Yeah.
And so it just takes a minute to break everything down and digest it and look back and say, okay, we're going to do things just a little bit different. And the same thing over and over is not always going to work. They're going to have to figure out things on the fly. And
Yeah.
I think this Portland match in um, America First Stadium, I think from any match so far, I think we're going to learn more about this club than we have in any of the prior games. Well, Kevin, I think that is where we're going to leave it today.
Okay.
From that disappointing final whistle to the questions that still haven't been really settled with you, me, the fans. This one's going to probably linger a little bit longer with you than with me.
Yeah.
But this one hurt. This one was a tough one to get through, tough one to watch, tough one to end the way it ended. But that's the way the match is played sometimes, highs, lows, and everything between. Thanks for riding with us on the Riot. Whether you're just as fired up as Kevin is or still trying to make sense of it all, we appreciate you being part of the conversation today. We make sure that you're following the podcast right here so you never miss an episode, and connect with us on social media to keep the debate going all week long. We've also made it onto YouTube, so check us out there. We want to hear your takes. Were we robbed in this last game? I think Kevin thinks. I'm there, but we should have played better in the first half. Or did we let that thing slip? Next time, all eyes turn to Portland. New match, new questions, and no excuses. Until then, stay loud, stay loyal, and stay with us at IntotheRioT.
Vamos Real.